Well, I got pretty much at least what I would have considered a year ago to be like a top three grail knife for me. Since I've been getting into the higher end, more expensive, mid tech, pretty much getting into custom territory. Um, it's slightly changed, but I definitely will covet this. This is a Les George ProTech push button out the side automatic. Not only is it limited edition because they only make 300 of whatever variation they want to do with these bruised shaw skulls, but this is also a custom anodized paint job on here. It's not paint. You know what I mean, though. What I found intriguing, though, is they anodized over what would have had some kind of number and said what number it is out of the 300 for the Shaw skull. So I guess I kind of got robbed of that, but I'm not crying over it. It is a one of a kind knife. And I pretty much already knew that I was going to love it, but it feels so freaking awesome in my hand. These are very hard to find now. There's very few that I can find out of looking at 40 different freaking websites that sell knives. And, when it comes to eBay and Amazon, the big other places, like you can't buy a real OTF or sell it on eBay or on Amazon. And the same goes for push button automatics as well. These are slightly out there. I'm not saying you can't get these at all as far as like a push button automatic from normal stores, but just a bunch of different knife laws across the country. I happen to live in Texas, so pretty much anything goes. And that's not always been the case. Knife wise, from what I understand, everything changed like in 2017 or so, where they basically made it legal to carry whatever, knife wise. Anyway, so again, this is a Les George Rockeye. It's a ProTech out the side automatic plunge lock, limited edition, Bruce Shaw sterling silver skull, and PK custom anodized. Because of how metallic and reflective it is, and this just being another one of those people that custom anodized one of these, this exact pattern, I would have to actually think that this is the only one. So this, even though it is not technically a mid-tech, which in some ways is technically not really a full-blown custom either, because it's still a production knife, this is going to be the one that sneaks into my case amongst my top dogs, all of my mid-tech or borderline custom stuff. I cleaned it up nice and good. Just got it yesterday. Got home from work and had multiple and multiple packages to open. It's probably the best knife day of my life. Anyway, this has been out for a long time. No need to try to talk about all the X's and O's of it. Very, very briefly, I will at least pop out, just so you know. This is a flipper ZT version of Les George Rockeye. And something that I wanted forever, I got last week, 2 weeks ago, is a VSEP from George himself, mid-tech version of the custom Rockeye, Shad Nichols Damascus. So yeah, I mean, Les George is definitely one of my top 3 favorite designers. And that's hands down. Don't get me wrong, there's a whole bunch of badass stuff out there. I'm sure I would love all kinds of knives from brands that I've never owned. There's a couple Heretic stuff that I would love to get my hands on. There's like the custom side of Microtech, the Morpheone stuff. I would love some of that stuff. I've seen a lot of Jake Hoback custom stuff that I would absolutely love. Every time I try to find me a Michael Ziba that I want and love, they're freaking almost impossible to get a hold of. So I'm sure there's Alan Isowitz stuff that I would love. Who am I forgetting? Obviously, one of the other ones that I want, I still need my Chris Reeves Sabenza. I want a Andre de Villers Butcher. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I would love from Dmitry Sinkovich as well. Sorry if I'm missing anybody. I do have me a Hinder. I do have some ZT Hinders as well. Definitely not leaving him off of here. I mean, there's my Hinder patch. I was trying to think of stuff that I don't have. Designers that I want. Pena, Chavez. I'm even thinking about just getting a regular, like a real Emerson. I don't have a real Emerson, and maybe get the Karambit. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, taken away from the Les George Rockeye. Alright, so that's basically like a first impression video. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. And the pivot was kind of loose, meaning the blade was moving a little bit. So after I cleaned it up pretty good, I grabbed made sure the Allen wrench was good and tight in there. And then I moved it about 1/8 of a turn, 1/6 of a turn, maybe 1/4 of a turn. Then I checked it out, deployed a few times. Then I went ahead and tightened it up a little bit more. I just barely eased into it. After I got to a point, it was borderline stiff. I went back and then loosened maybe like a 1/10 of a turn. And now I got it dialed in perfect where it still flings out. It feels straight up rock solid. There's no wiggle now. And it still flies out of there. And it just sounds like it's it is just slamming out of there and locking up like a freaking vault. So anyway, this is one of my Grail knives that I've wanted for a long time. Not necessarily the red anodized meaning, the part of it, but these are freaking really hard to find. So I got what I wanted. I got a custom design one, Bruce Shaw Skull one, limited edition one, ProTech Rockeye that you just pretty much can't find anymore. Or they're used. Or they're the last remaining ones of the stock that have never been sold and they're crazy expensive. Alright, Flatline, I'm out.